Hi, and welcome to Sandy's Numerology. I'm going to be looking at every month in the year so that you can get a heads up of what a month means and you can understand what is going on around in this great world or here in South Africa. So, first of all, November month is an 11. We are currently in 2018, which is also an 11. So November, things start to heighten. And an 11 means all of the world platforms. So whether it's a website or Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, the YouTubes, it means any form of print, electronic media, TV and radio. So people out there, we're not in Mercury retrograde, which is about miscommunication, saying the wrong thing, and you can't take it back. There's other planets that are testing you in your communication. And 11 affects the masses. It creates movements, it creates followers. But 11 is such a huge number that every day in November, all of the effects of the month start to roll, and there's a stronger ripple effect. Then we go to the gold price and currencies fluctuating, stock markets. Watch out for November, no matter what kind of investment you are doing, markets can go from a high in one day and crash the next day. This is where more financial fraud and bank fraud is starting to gain a momentum. Bitcoin, bonds and interest rates rising, trade agreements, threats, or we've got handshakes, rules and regulations, a lot of things happening with this 11. But it's about partnerships and forming alliances. It's not about dividing, it's not about threatening, it's going, how can we work together? You've got to start realizing that there's a lot of retrenching coming, and November actually starts to kickstart this for the next 3 years. But it means the world stage. But 11 is incredibly spiritual. It is about the universe and the law of the universe. What goes around comes around. It's very, very patient. And when it's time, it decides to actually have a storm and create a storm. But join hands. Don't threaten. See how you can solve. How can we join hands? How can we work together? How can we make people feel better about themselves? So watch out for November. It's a high impact month and it doesn't affect just one. There's a ripple effect. It is saying that if you're not working for the masses will strike, will protest, our students that rose earlier on this year for free education. This is about the masses, but it's going to bring down industries, heads, because they're not working for the people, but it does bring the masses together to actually work together. There's big wobbles coming. This is also about plane crashes, car accidents, hijacking, ships. It's also about elections, mass shootings, sexual offenses and pedophiles, but it's got the word legal. It's about the law, it's about the rights, but it's also about the earth. So it brings in earthquakes. It's going to be affecting farmers with rain or no rain. It brings in fires. It brings in volcanoes erupting, spewing smoke and lava. So every day in November month, you have an 11. Adding to this global 11 brings a higher impact. Then you get to the days in November that have many more 11s. The 9th, the 18th, and the 27th of November. Watch your driving on those days because that day is about trucks or blockages. So the 7th, the 16th, and the 25th has a great impact. Then there are 2 other days in November that are massive. Is the 11th of November. So that's already double 11s, and then we bring in 2018, which adds to an 11. But the 11th of the 11th brings in another power number, which is a 22, which adds to a 4. The outcome of the 11th of the 11th will be a 6. So this is even greater and bigger about the masses, rules and regulations, system and order and structure and paperwork. And that's a day to refrain from being on platforms, because this is when people are voicing and speaking and saying the wrong things. And then one more day that's even more powerful than any of the other days is the 22nd, being a power number, which adds to a 4. And this 22 and this 11 now brings in another power number, which is a 33-6. And a 33-6 is how it impacts a following and a belief system, but it's all about communication on that day, because it brings in double hidden 6s and an 8. Be mindful about November being the highest impact, number 11, and of course the global year being an 11 as well. Click on subscribe, click on the button to get notification on any new shows, and of course the upcoming show, which will be all about the next month, which will be December. Thank you for watching Sandy's Numerology.